to issue number 7 of the Infinite Backlog, a chronological tour of the best and most noteworthy Marvel comics. I'm the all-new Andy, and with me are my co-hosts, Dark Shane. So dark. And Fearless Rory.
Oh, hello, everybody. Hi.
I love one of my favorite things about doing that is the way that you guys respond has absolutely nothing to do ever with the adjective that I've given you, and I don't know.
Didn't I sound like I don't think I sounded afraid. I think it's on. I think it matches my adjective.
Today's comics follow the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man, and they take us from July through October of 1965. And of course, during this time, Medicare is established into law, Castro allows Cubans to emigrate to the U.S., and My Mother the Car premieres on NBC.
Isn't it great how that we don't have to worry about healthcare anymore after 1967, and now everybody's just got it, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's super great.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Do you know how much a baby costs to escort out? Do you know how much it costs you to escort out one baby? You better get that WAP insured.
Yeah, this is nothing.
Because the hospital's gonna take all your gold for that baby.
That damn hospital took all my gold. Can hospitals accept gold as payment? Do you think they prefer that to insurance?
They definitely do. I mean, you don't charge $20,000 for a baby if you're not into gold.
Oh shit! So we're still in a new world for this podcast right now, where we've gone down to only 2 titles. So the choice of what we talk about first is kind of a binary. Does anybody have their druthers? You got a feeling on whether we talk about Fantastic Four or Spider-Man first?
I feel like we should talk Fantastic Four first. Let's get the bad stuff. Let's get bad out of the way, and then go into deliciously delightful.
One of these days, I'm going to really turn you guys around on Fantastic Four.
Probably not.
Okay. So this kind of, with the exception of the annual, right? So we read 3 issues of Fantastic Four, and then it's annual. This is basically one story, because we ended last week with the Thing deciding he wanted to bail because he'd had one too many bad experiences and just was really pissed about still being a monster. I don't know. I thought this was kind of fun. There's a lot of weird shit going on.
I did like it. I didn't like how him leaving the group had pretty much no bearing on the story, because he was hypnotized almost immediately.
They take it away from him. I mean, you could have predicted it. Given what we've read so far, you could have predicted that they would not let us have a cool moment last for very long.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Because all we get is the Thing sort of jumping on the back of a flatbed truck and being like, I'm out of here. As soon as I turn 18, I am out of here. And then he just leaves town and immediately gets whammied by the Frightful Four. And then it's just a brainwashed hero fight again, right? I mean, we've done that. We've been doing this podcast for 7 weeks, and we've already had at least a couple brainwashed hero fights.
Yeah, I think they've already kind of keyed into the fact that while it makes almost no narrative sense and they have to keep bending over backwards to set it up, people go fucking apeshit for watching their 2 favorite heroes, their 2 favorite heroes, just duke it out.
I know. And I guess there's something to that, but it's that part of the comic book nerd culture that I've never really felt like I wanted to engage with, where everyone's like, who do you think would win in a fight between Thor and the Hulk? I don't fucking care, man. I don't care. That kind of thing, there's no way that fight happens in the comics and they walk away and one of them like legit died or something, right? I mean, like, they got to have more titles, so nobody's going to have a fair fight.
Plus, you know that they're going to do it a second time and a different one wins. Like, it's not even definitive.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I was thinking there are only like a couple of those fights that I can like actually get behind and get excited about. And one is like the Hulk Wolverine saga, right? That one's pretty good.
Yeah.
But that was actually interesting and in the 90s.
Yeah, there's some good matchups you can find, especially if there's like writing that supports them having a problem, which is why it was almost so cool here, because Ben has a legitimate grief with Reed. He's got serious beef, and it could have been explored in a cool way.
We do get to watch them trade blows in a pretty interesting little fight. It ends with Ben Grimm shoving Reed Richards into a bottle, which is awesome. I didn't realize the elastic. Like, it's a fun little, like, I had nothing in this in these comics are, you know, at all scientific, but it's a fun little, like, oh, of course you can squeeze Reed Richards that you don't see explored, you know?
Yeah. Well,
nobody ever does that. He's a lot. Yeah.
He's like a ketchup bottle.
The thing could do that. Put him in a ketchup bottle.
Well, and I really like that because, then like Sue sees the ketchup bottle when she's running away. It's not a ketchup bottle. It's like an urn. It looks like an urn for ashes or something. And she sees it like rolling around and she's like, that's weird, but I guess I'll take it.
That's fully bouncing around. Yeah.
I guess I'll take this bouncing thing.
She says she can vaguely make out a voice, which
right.
It's still kind of weird. Like, I don't know why you assume a bouncing. Well, it is bouncing. If it was just rolling around screaming, I think it's an odd leap to say. I bet my husband's in there.
Right, right.
But if you're married to a bouncing man, to a man who bounces, a man who's been known to bounce here and there.
Rule number 1 of the Richards household: always inspect weird bottles.
Always be bouncing.
Always be ready for those bouncing bottles.
The thing that I most want to talk about from this little chunk is the traps that the Frightful Four set for the Fantastic Four. They're like little perfect traps because
the super condom, Sue Storm super condom,
the super condom.
These are so fucking funny. So Sue Storm, they just have a big plastic bag they put her in,
and they call it that. They don't use any fun like comic jazz on it. It's just a big old bag.
For Johnny Storm, they hook him up with basically 3 shower heads that are just gonna spray him with water if he does anything.
It's like it's like they tied him to a sprinkler.
But no,
if it senses smoke, the sprinkler turns on, and then the best one is for Reed Richards, which they have just a big board covered in paste. And they even say it. Medusa's like, get Reed over onto this board covered in paste.
Get him on the paste board.
It's like fly paper for a man. It's man paper. God, I lost it reading that section because they treat it so seriously because we're supposed to really be scared of the trapster.
The Frightful... I know, they want it so bad. The Frightful Four have kidnapped Ben Grimm with kind of a hand-wavy, just like, they just, I don't know, get him somehow, and then I didn't get this at all. At first, I thought it was like a Doctor Strange villain. It felt more like magic than any sort of like...
I mean, he is the wizard, but he seems to use science.
He just uses... Yeah, anyway.
He's a science wizard.
They use plot to capture Ben Grimm, and... they use a little plot device. There are so many silly gizmos this week, like way more than normal. You know, people just randomly have my emotion switching ray or my battery powered id detector.
Oh, dude. It's so good though. And I love, they kind of have their own internal logic about some of them, right? Because they've got the id thing that brainwashes the thing. And then there's kind of a fun twist where we find out that when Sue is escaping, she like defused it or fucked with it. And so when they use it on Johnny, Johnny's faking it. So Johnny realizes it's not working and he ends up faking being enthralled.
Yeah, it was kind of fun.
I did kind of like that. So like they introduced a really dumb gizmo, but then they kind of turned it back on me. And I was like, okay, I don't mind this existing.
Except not really. I mean, it was a fun reveal. And then everybody knows Johnny was faking it one panel after we learn it. We don't get to see Johnny Storm ever. I guess if you're a sharp reader, you'll remember that Sue fucked with the device, but she never said, like, it's not clear that it's out of commission, but like appears operational. She doesn't, none of that is at all given text.
No. You know, which is, I don't know. I think that there's kind of like 2 levels of twists you can have. And one is the one where there's no way a consumer of the media could ever have called it. And then the other one is like, more mystery novel style where like the breadcrumbs are laid. And I don't think that any comics that we're reading right now are doing the breadcrumb style. They're all just sort of being like, boom, I had this the whole time.
I don't even mind learning it. I just wish we got to see Johnny Storm faking it for longer.
Yeah. Johnny fakes it with all the women.
Johnny doesn't fake it with me.
Oh, well, I'm sure that's what he told you. Speaking
what he told me.
You lie! Speaking of Johnny, I have to point out how wild it is to me that every dude in this whole comic has fallen for Medusa.
Yeah.
Because all three of the Frightful Four clearly want to get down with her. She's like the shadow leader because she can just kind of turn it on and they'll do what she wants. Mm-hmm. And then she's into Reed because she's I guess she's really into like unconscious dudes stuck to boards.
Yeah. But she's also not even just the shadow leader. It's like, because Wizard's the one who's like super self-conscious about who's the leader. Medusa is not that broken up about it. She just knows she's better than him. She knows his powers. She knows, gravity discs are kind of dumb.
Oh my God.
They're not. They're so cool. They're so cool.
Are they?
They do a pretty good job paying off their incredibly stupid ideas. Mm-hmm. The glue villain is fairly effective. The glue guy.
Fucking it's Captain Glue.
Medusa with her, sentient, infinite hair is also kind of stupid, and they do a good job making that cool.
But yeah. I love her weird hair.
I know, it's great.
Cool. It's so fun to move across a page and see all of her just hair in weird places.
100%. But pretend you were reading it in novel form. It's a dumb idea, given given coolness through the visual medium. Like they use it well.
Well, obviously I wouldn't want to read about it.
No.
I want to see that lady smack me with her wet hair and turn my flame off.
Oh, the wet hair.
she literally is like, take my soggy hair, Johnny. And he's like, oh, no.
Oh, no. Slap me with your hair, mommy. Actually, there's an incredible panel where Medusa, they're all like the Frightful Four are moving through a hallway and there's a bunch of like, I don't know, it's sort of like an industrial looking hallway with big pipes and stuff. I think it's in the Baxter building. And in this panel, like they're all walking and it's just a fun detail. Medusa is just like, nah, fuck walking. And she's using her hair to like, instead of like arm over arming a pole, she's using her hair to grab the pole and move through. And so her hair is, she's like hanging by her hair off like from the ceiling. And it's a really cool look. So yeah, it lives and dies on the artist here to make it fun. But everyone's into her, including Johnny. At the end of this issue, it's so funny. Johnny just lets her go. She runs away and he's like, you know what? Why am I not running after her? Is it because I don't want to fight a girl or is it something more? And he gets back to the crew and Reed is like, what the fuck what are you doing? And he's like, oh, yeah, don't get riled, kid. I understand. She's an extremely attractive female.
I know. Reed lets his lecherous side kind of come out again. But yeah, Johnny Storm decides, I can't send the woman with infinite hair to jail before, she's had a chance to tumble with Jonathan Badweather. Before she's met his bedroom persona.
Oh, no.
God, I really love the idea that he's got a suave version of himself called Jonathan Badweather. That's so good.
Jonathan Badweather calling.
He comes out of the bathroom when he's got a girl over and she's like waiting for him. He's like, hold on, I need to go freshen up. And he comes out just wearing a top hat and he's like, hello, I'm Jonathan Badweather.
Oh, but he also like draws on a little pencil mustache.
Yes. Yes, this is my fucksona. Oh my god!
It's fun too because the only person I ever think of with the just pencil mustache is John Waters, which is also kind of an opposite of Johnny Storm.
Yeah, shit.
So Ben Grimm, who has been, we left off in the action. Reed Richards, Sue Storm have escaped. Johnny is pretending to be a fearsome four, and they come back to mount a rescue. They sort of intuit that Johnny must be faking it because they were not burned to a crisp.
Yeah.
And then we later learn, no, this may have come up in an issue we have skipped, but apparently he's taken some kind of torch, the blood oath of the Human Torch to never burn a human being. I don't know how you do that when all you do is burn and your power but
I know
he will never lay his fiery hands on the pink flesh of a sweet human.
Unless they're into it. Yeah.
Unless they're into it. Unless they let him get a little a little hot in the bedroom. Let him turn it up to medium high.
Oh
my God.
No.
Oh my God. You get in there, he comes out, it's Jonathan Badweather, and he's like, well, how do you want it? And you're like, medium rare.
Medium rare.
I was going to say not enough to roast a steak, or not enough to cook a steak, but you could roast some mushrooms.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Treat me like one of your
Jonathan.
kebabs.
Jonathan. Saute me, Jonathan.
I want to be blanched.
I want to be blanched. Yeah, boil my pot.
God, yeah, they Reed like de-whammies the thing. He like deprograms him with, I don't know, some kind of gizmo. He's always got gizmos.
There's an interesting thing that happens when Reed is trying to reverse it that winds up not getting much page time, which is that he had to do something with cosmic rays, which putting more cosmic rays onto the guy who hates you right now because you put him in, you gotta keep hitting him with cosmic rays.
Keep hitting him with cosmic rays as often as you fucking can. Yeah.
Until his body turns into granite.
Reed, why don't you wash the dishes? Oop, cosmic rays.
Oops.
Reed, what are you doing looking at Alicia? Cosmic rays.
I wish that got a little bit more time to explore. But
yeah,
suffice to say, he's trying to restore Ben's rightful mind. And here's another neat idea that got no follow-up, was that the Ben Grimm that comes out is not the original Ben Grimm and not the mind-whammy Ben Grimm. It is a third brain that has been changed through the process of having been hypnotized or been restored. We're not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a throwaway line that it's like, it's not Ben Grimm, but then it is Ben Grimm. It's his personality, but it's just not what he was before the hypnosis.
Yeah. And again, I can't imagine they're going to do anything with that.
No, if we're going to get Story Boy on it, that's Ben Grimm's change to have been on a journey and returned a hero, now able to affect change and win the fight. He's a transformed person. He's Gandalf the White, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a cool idea that if they're going to write it in, I had definitely wished to see a little more of it in action. See him say he's changed, like he's still angry, but he knows he's part of this team or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
But he does wake up and he does save the day. I also liked his fight with both Reed Richards and Sue Storm as whammied thing. I guess he can attack the force field so hard that she feels, reverberal pain.
Yeah, and she like faints immediately.
Yeah.
And then he Shane. Then he just gives Johnny Storm the lightest finger on the brain, knocks him right out. Just a little finger, just a little poke, puts baby to bed.
Just a little brain poke.
I think he even says something like, "Oh, for you, all I need is one finger.
I just need one finger, baby."
Same.
Yeah, he's just
Jonathan
big...
Jonathan Badweather, give me your one finger.
This is getting so sexual, but it's not our fault. These comics are so sexy.
Yeah, it's totally not our fault.
I want to talk about the annual. It's stupid.
It's an annual.
Can we talk about how dumb it is?
It's solidly annual. It's interesting because it's story relevant in a way a lot of annuals frequently aren't. It's the actual wedding of Reed and
it is.
Sue. But it is kind of outside of any sort of normal tension. An annual is often this kind of it's kind of a gag, right? It's just for a laugh.
Yeah.
Nothing impertinent to the story happens. You usually have this giant, and they did this one, I don't know about for the first time in Marvel, first time we've seen, even more than the engagement party, is this just giant gathering of heroes and villains.
Yeah,
really
it's
seeing everybody
crazy.
thrown
They're all
in there.
trying to get COVID.
Now, well, so something I thought was interesting. I'm gonna name a bunch of people here in a second, just to sort of give you an idea. But like one thing I found interesting, one of the first people that we see is Patsy and Hetty, and it's like this is the first time that those two characters, who of course, if you're listening to this podcast or you've never read them before, you have no context for. But this brings them into the Marvel universe. Because they're from the 40s and they've like always had their own comic line. Patsy is a character who I think later is God, what's her name? It's like it's Hellcat. So she later becomes Hellcat as a hero, but she starts as like like a teen romance comic star, and they bring her into the Marvel universe in this annual by putting her in the crowd at the wedding, and I find that very interesting.
That's like how Dracula is canonically in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
It's like there's a Dracula. There's a real Dracula.
So here, I'm gonna name some things. Tell me if I missed anybody, but I'm gonna go real fast to give you an idea of who all is in this fucking issue. Here we go. Roughly in order of appearance, we've got Tony Stark, Patsy and Hetty, the Puppet Master, Colonel Fury, Red Ghost and his Super Apes, Professor
we gotta just stop right now on the Red Ghost and the Super Apes, because this is such
Andy's only 3 in.
I know, but I gotta throw it to my boy. There's this guy, Red Ghost, I'm assuming is a communist reference.
I assume so.
He is a ghost, and he has
and he does have apes.
He has 3 trained monkeys. One of them he's trained to use a laser gun. So the baboon has a gun, and that's just part of the setup. So there's 3
good.
monkeys, one has a gun and a ghost, and they hang out and are bad together. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's so good, and we had been teased on this because this was in like the first or second Fantastic Four annual that had like one of those villain galleries in it. So we technically saw him, but we never seen him in an issue until this moment.
I know, in the gallery you don't get an idea of just how stupid it is. You've got to see
exactly.
You've got to see a ghost flying around and a monkey shooting his gun to like be in it.
Okay, Red Ghost and his Super Apes, Professor X, the X-Men, Mole Man, Doctor Strange, the Mandarin, Super Skrull, Thor, and the rest of the Avengers like Captain America and Ant-Man, etc., etc. We got Matt Murdock as this Daredevil. We got the Executioner and Mr. Hyde, which are 2 villains that we've never met before, but are, I guess, real. We've got Spider-Man. We've got Electro. We've got the Beetle. We've got Quicksilver showing up out of nowhere. We've got Atuma. Fucking Atuma, the warlord from under the sea. We've got the Watcher, Uatu the Watcher.
The Watcher showing up was crazy. I did not know that he was part of the show this early, or part of the Marvel Universe this early.
Yeah. And then, at the very end, we have fucking Jack and Stan.
Yeah, Jack and Stan showing up like, they're like, it's like the Stanley cameos in the movies, kind of. It also has what are their names? The Muppet, the 2 Muppet, the 2 cranky
Statler and
Muppets.
Waldorf.
Statler and Waldorf, yeah. A little fourth Wally, a little old, kind of bantery Jewish kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny, and they're kicked out of the wedding. They're like wedding crashers, and they're like, fuck it, we'll go write another issue of this very comic or whatever, like. It's silly, but this issue does feel like one big gag and an excuse to get as many human beings as possible from their hero lines into the same book.
And it's the first reference I've ever seen of Stanley giving Jack Kirby his fair dues of like treating him like an equal.
Which is, I guess, it's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. At least it happened once. It's better than never happening.
But basically, I forgot Dr. Doom, because he's the one who uses some sort of machine. It's very hand-wavy.
Some sort of emotion flipping machine, yeah.
Yeah, he uses like from a distance. It doesn't even seem like he shows up. Villains. uses it from Latveria. Yeah, it only affects villains that we've heretofore seen in the comics.
So
and they all show up mad.
One would assume he's in Latveria. This really odd drawing, because it's not clear. It looks like he goes to the window and says something's going on at the Baxter building.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that he's just got a hotel room like within eye shot of the Fantastic Four.
Oh my god, he's like Rear Window.
They've got towers next to each other. Yeah, this is just a Rear Window situation.
Fuck. What a busybody. Yeah, so he pisses off all the villains and they all show up trying to cause trouble at this wedding. Including the Red Ghost in the Super Ape sequence is the best because they attack Reed and Sue directly while they're getting dressed, and then Doctor Strange shows up out of nowhere and just flings them into another dimension. And he's like, "Thanks, friend." And they just shake hands. Can we talk about? I mean, we should talk about Spider-Man soon, but the Watcher is something I find interesting.
Can we talk about? I'm glad you said the Watcher because I was also thinking the Watcher. Can we talk about his dumb head?
Yeah,
it makes me so mad.
They iterate him a little bit. Right now, he looks like a sort of giant baby Roman.
He's a baby. He's a
baby
giant baby. That's all he is. He's New Year's baby, and he's giant.
I imagine him just like, yes, I can only watch. I'm very mystical. And then he's just like, oh, hold on. He turns around and then some little kid's just like feeding him mushy peas through his mouth that he doesn't open. Like, open your mouth. I also peed. Change me.
All the people are changing him as he's talking about the makings of the universe.
Yeah.
And
it is fun where he shows up. He shows up in the middle of this fight and is like, I can only watch. If you follow me back home through this portal, I can't stop you. Legally, I can't stop you.
But I can bring you to a room full of guns.
There are no laws against you finding a gun in my house. Classic Marvel.
I can't be responsible for what happens. I found this loophole, which is called putting you in my house full of guns. Fuck. God damn it. What a this is why I love Fantastic Four. It gives me so much joy. So much joy. Even if the comics themselves aren't wonderful, just the getting to talk about this stuff is so enjoyable. Thank you.
Yeah.
But we should make a little pivot over to the Spidey boy because he had a lot of very exciting adventures this week.
Spider-Man had a lot going on this week.
And in a very Johnny Storm way, I feel like he had a lot of very suggestive poses that he was making. I found myself really stopping a lot on different panels and going, oh, my word.
Oh, my. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Ooh.
What are you doing, Step Spider-Man?
Oh, no. Spider-Man, are you stuck in that washing machine?
Oops, I've webbed myself.
Oh shit! So the first thing we had, I mean, let's see, over the course of the issues, we deal with the Crime Master and the Green Goblin. We meet the Molten Man.
Master. Molten Man.
Molten Man made me so angry.
The chiseled golden statue who's wet all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's slippery Oscar boy. He's just a slippery Oscar.
There is a spot where Spider-Man shoots web at him, and he says, "Oh no, the webbing! It wouldn't stick to his slick molten skin." And then this fucking Academy Award stands there having his shirt ripped off like some sort of cocky wet Adonis.
It's so sick. Like the entire issue is Molten Man becoming progressively more naked till he's arrested in a loincloth.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think there's a Spider-Man only manages to like restrain Molten Man by managing to like his webs won't stick to him, but he can still like hog tie him with webs. And then he's just like, we're spending multiple panels like just watching him tie up this Molten Man. And I'm thinking like, damn, does BDSM like stand for big dick Spider-Man now? Like Like, this is what we're doing.
Up.
This is what we're doing. It's fucking intense. Molten Man was something else. God. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing even to say about that issue. It's dumb. It's just there's a man covered in metal.
There's an incredible moment. There's an incredible moment where Molten Man realizes that his clothes are coming off, and he goes, I noticed that you have a superhero look. I guess I'll take my clothes off even more. And he rips off his He
turns his jeans into jorts.
He turns them into jorts.
God.
And Spider-Man's like, oh shit, jorts, my weakness.
Damn it, he really powered up when he really found his signature look. Yeah. Something I wanted to point out was at the beginning of that issue, it was really funny. There's another really good letterer dunk. I've got my eye open for these now at the front of stories. So on this Molten Man title page, it says, written and edited with loving care by Stan Lee. Plotted and drawn with talent rare by Steve Ditko. Lettered and bordered with a vacant stare by Sam Rosen.
They're always so mean to him.
So fucking savage. Poor Sam. Poor letterers.
It's so
Damn.
good. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, what we should maybe briefly cover the Crime Master two-parter. It's like it's close to interesting. There's a mystery here that I was kind of intrigued by, except for the fact that, as we've discussed before, knowing that Green Goblin is Norman Osborn, we lose out on this mystery a little bit because we already know his identity.
But we still haven't met him in the series.
No, we have not met him in the series.
And I'm not 100% sure we're gonna I am not convinced that they're gonna have made Norman Osborn an interesting character the first time we meet him. You know,
right?
I'm interested to see if they'll have established him as a mentor of Peter's in college. He just in these issues he just graduated high school.
Right,
and,
exactly. We do see his graduation, which J. Jonah Jameson speaks.
Yeah,
oh my God.
And now he's going to go to college university or city university, but it's equally vague.
It's Empire State University.
Empire State U.
Yeah, it's actually it's interesting though, because we've got this character Foswell who was the big man, who was the former leader of the Enforcers when we first met the Enforcers. Who, after getting out of prison, J. Jonah Jameson has rehired as a reporter again. And Foswell, we're supposed to think through most of these two issues, is going to either turn out to be the Crime Master, who's this new mob boss on the scene, or the Green Goblin, because we've been teasing his secret identity for so long now, for multiple issues. And it is admittedly kind of fun to see that in the end, he's neither of them, and he's actually on the up and up. I liked that angle.
Real quick before we get too deep into this comic, Andy, to kind of segue from people having fun appearances in comics. Did you notice that we were not even a full sentence into this and Stan jumped in with one of his little notes?
Where?
In the very first panel of the fucking book, Spider-Man's like, "Oh, I have to look for the costume that my aunt took from me," and then
God, this costume plot is outrageous.
It says, as shown in Spider-Man. Yeah. This is number 26. It says as shown last issue.
We've been dealing with the fact that Spider-Man hates sewing and won't make a new costume for so fucking long. It's the stupidest plot I've ever seen.
Because we had a whole thing that we didn't even bother talking about last week, where it was all about washing machine drama.
Washing machine drama. Yep.
And his suit was too wet to wear. And fucking, what are we doing? This is such stupid drama. This makes no sense. Oh, and he had two suits, but where's that one? Oh, and now Aunt May, I can't just ask her where she put it. Oh, I'm going to search the house and try and find where Aunt May stored my suit. Fuck. It's
if
a
only
mess.
Flash Thompson could see me now using this needle and thread like a girl.
Girls do.
Like a female. You got to say the word female because that's how they do it. That's how they do it in these comics. Oh, I do. We need to give Betty some big points this week.
She's done. She's done with this Peter Parker malarkey.
She's done with Peter Parker. Ned Leeds, the greatest archenemy of Spider-Man, an actual good man, shows up. And
yeah, his biggest enemy is just a straight up good fucking dude. What does that say about this psychopath?
But Betty says this. This is the best thing that Betty's ever said. She finally asks, she says the quiet part out loud. She goes, "How many more girlfriends do you have, Peter?" And I was like, damn, because it is, we have been asking that question since this podcast began. Mm-hmm. And
but it's odd
really
because
nice.
She's mostly mad about Mary Jane Watson because she's so, she's so fuckable. She's so goddamn fuckable. But we've never seen her, and Peter has never seen her.
I know.
Like, she's mad about an honest mistake, despite the fact that he's behaving incredibly poorly, and there's very real things she should be mad at him for.
Yes. Yeah. And then we see the other side of it with Liz. Like, Liz is pissed at him because he got into a fight with Flash Thompson finally, and she's like, "Damn it, I thought you were a guy that wasn't going to use his fists, and now it's like I don't like either of you. It pisses me off."
Same.
All these guys are so into their fists.
And then her grand confession at graduation is that she was been in love with him forever, basically. And it's like, okay.
I don't like that.
No, I know. It's
sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
She was just too afraid of his brain, of his big manly brain.
There's just something funny about like seeing this relationship drama play out, and then like we turn the page and it's like, meanwhile, and the crime master is like blowing up mob bosses' cars just like on the street. He like blows this guy's car up while he's on the phone to them. He's like, "Look out your window."
Look out your window.
He's like, I'm the fucking ruler of the mob now. It's like, that's not how this works. You just blew up his car. Such a weird power play. Yeah, I don't know. There's an interesting back and forth, I guess, with Crime Master sort of cutting Green Goblin out of this deal that they'd sort of made together, and then like when he's trying to make his big play to take control of all the mobs, Goblin shows up with an unconscious Spider-Man who's like, "Nope, you're not following him. You're following me because I got Spider-Man." And then it's just, I don't know. It turns into like a huge melee, and all the police come in.
You know what was fun about this issue was they made a great use of two really hacky like plot devices in a way that I think kind of paid off. So Spider-Man is wearing this janky costume store version of Spider-Man suit.
Yeah, because he had to buy one because he doesn't fucking have his own suit because we're still dealing with it. Yes, continue.
He gets in a tussle with Crime Master, whose like super villainy shtick is that he's got a gas gun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crime Master blasts him with the gas gun, and Spider-Man has to take off his hood and also try to hide his face. It's a fun little drama. He takes so he's got to get away, get the mask off, blah 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 blah. Later, because this knockoff Spider-Man suit is causing him so many issues, he decides to glue it to his face. In the same issue, he decides to glue the mask to his face in the same issue as having just had to take his mask off because he's fighting a guy who shoots gas in his face.
Yes.
Now it's
incredible.
This feels like the most obvious setup for a really bad, like just a really hacky shtick writing.
Or
schlock writing, I guess. And it kind of goes the opposite. Instead of going toe-to-toe with Crime Master a second time and being unable to get his mask off, Goblin gets a hold of him, but Goblin can't get his mask off, even after they've knocked him out.
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck, I just want to unmask this guy. God damn it, why is it stuck?"
While both are kind of dumb, I was actually sort of hoodwinked by the plotting of this issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought this was going to come up with he's glued his mask to his face and then,
oh no, gas.
Gets gassed again.
Yeah. So that was a kind of a fun issue, except it ends with the Crime Master getting just completely iced by police on a rooftop. And they're like, "We've got you surrounded." "Nah, whatever. I guess we'll just fucking shoot you dead." And he can't tell anybody Green Goblin's true identity before he dies. Damn. I guess we're going to have that mystery holding over us for another few issues. And then what do we get for the last Spider-Man stuff? We had the Scorpion with another bizarre escape from prison, because the prisons don't seem to make any sense. Like, I guess last time, was it was it the Beetle that was like, there's no rule against giving a man his costume back after he gets out of jail.
And in this one, Scorpion just threw a tantrum until they gave him his costume to calm him down.
They're like, I guess,
prison.
Okay, here you go.
Even though his costume doesn't seem to do anything besides the springtail.
He's got the tail, yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise, he's got the proportional strength of 1,000 scorpions.
But it's attached to his body, right? Like they couldn't actually take it away from him.
I thought it was.
Yeah, I think it's actually like attached to him, which is
Well, it's not what they say in the issue. They say they give him his costume back to calm him down because he pretended to be crazy in prison.
So I think the tail maybe isn't like physically attached to him, and he said that he needed a tail to like spring across the courtyard in the middle of the prison.
It's definitely an artificial tail. He says as much.
Right.
Oh.
Were you imagining a big fleshy penis coming out of his butt?
No.
Because it is really just it doesn't have a tail shape. It's like it's just a cylinder that has a little knob end.
Yeah.
This is a dumb idea that they do fail to pay off. They don't make Scorpion's tail cool. Just the fact that he leaps, it's just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
It's only there to look like a scorpion tail. It's design-wise. And narratively, it's fucking just an awful idea. That he just uses it to shoot himself places.
Yeah.
With his
and,
tail.
You know, if you're going to have a villain called the Scorpion and he's got a tail, that tail should have a pointy end, for fuck's sake. Let him skewer people with it.
Or shoot
like a real
lasers or
scorpion.
something. Yeah.
God damn it. And then this annual, the Spider-Man annual that we read, hey, Doctor Strange came back, and hey, he made a wet turd happen again. Did anyone even enjoy this issue? There's nothing here. There's a wand of Watum that Xandu wants.
I'll give it.
I did enjoy some things. I actually did enjoy some things.
Spider-Man having to deal with magical stuff was kind of fun. Like he's
Spider-Man grabbing the wand and just like chilling in the other dimensions. He's just like walking along in some other weird dimension. Like, oh, I guess this is pretty cool.
He doesn't even have any idea how fucked he is. He's just like, wow,
exactly.
This place is neat.
He has the presence of mind to just wait for the goons to come and try and retrieve him. He's like, well, I guess my only way home is if they come and catch me, so I'll just let myself get caught.
A couple of things of note that I very much enjoyed from the issue is that there's a borscht recipe that was on the ancient scroll, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Doctor Strange is like, it looks just like a recipe, but if I stare at it and cross my eyes and do a little dance,
it turned into a really good borscht recipe.
Yeah, exactly. It's the perfect borscht. It's 5-star. But there's also a moment where Doctor Strange says, "May Vishanti watch over you," and Spider-Man goes, "And may your amulet never tickle."
Yeah. I love that Peter Parker has just no chill there, where he's just like, how the fuck do I respond to something like this? And he just comes up with his best attempt at a weird psychobabble, like weird mystical shit. And may your amulet never tickle. Like, what the fuck? It's so real though, because Doctor Strange is just a constant douche chills. Like, how do you talk to this guy? It's impossible to talk to this guy.
In Fantastic Four, Reed is like, thanks for your help, Doctor Strange. And he hits him back with like, I owed you a debt, and a debt I didn't want to like continue owing. Like Doctor Strange lives his life by like leprechaun rules. Like he's oath bound by the Fairy King to repay favors. A wizard's debt. God. He owes a wizard's debt. And it is all too excited to pay it off, to be free of this burden.
Yeah. Oh, thank God. I can go back to my
I've made
house.
Your shoes for the night, cobbler. My debt is paid. A saucer of milk was all I asked for.
Shit.
Ding dong, ding dong. It's the alarm. Shane, I think
ding dong, ding dong.
Think ding 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 ding. It's the fuck, marry, kill alarm. Please hit me. Please hit me with a good fuck, marry, kill.
Please hit me.
All right. So this week's fuck, marry, kill is a little more. I don't have a good word for it. It's
okay.
It just listen. So this is the fuck, marry, kill. We have rapid fire breakups.
Oh, okay.
Your high school graduation.
Mm-hmm.
And the Human Torch, but he's always wet with Medusa's hair.
Oh boy, these are like concepts that I have to think about fucking. Oh dear, Shane's got heady with us today.
I did.
What is the rapid fire breakups in reference to?
All the girls who were coming up to Peter Parker
And just saying no more,
I mean,
no thank you.
Everyone's like, fuck you.
We're done, Peter.
I
What? I
guess-
haven't even met this girl. We're done, Peter. What? I didn't even know you liked me.
Yep,
Exactly. If it's for me, I'd have to kill the rapid fire breakups. That's not gonna feel good.
It's
but
not,
I did like seeing it happen to Peter. So caveat. But for me, I don't want that to happen.
That's such a funny thing. It's like a really politician-y thing to say. Like, well, I thought about this from both sides, but I really don't like. I just got to come down. I'm anti-pain. I'm anti-death. I really don't like breakups. I just got it. Someone's got to say it, But no, I agree. We got to kill the breakups.
Here in America, we have the best breakups. We won the breakups. Okay.
Now, here's where I maybe get a little not controversial. I think I can explain it well. I fucked the graduation night, right? One time, graduate, all good. You don't want to be graduating forever. Like, it's the worst.
That's right. One
is okay.
Okay.
And now I'm married to a constantly wet Jonathan Badweather.
A soggy Badweather.
Just strapped to his shower machine.
Well, you definitely don't want to fuck Jonathan Badweather when he's soggy, because how's he going to get you medium rare? You know what I mean?
but he's hooked up to an elaborate showerhead machine. I think we can work something out.
I think we all agree. I think
so. I think there's one answer this week. God.
Okay, what if it was how much you enjoyed that the dumpings happened to Peter? Does that change anything? Do you marry Peter Parker getting dumped?
Yeah, I probably marry Peter Parker getting dumped. Absolutely. I put a ring on Peter Parker getting dumped so fast.
Oh my God. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been issue 7 of the Infinite Backlog. This has been a hell of a good time. And in the name of Satanish, by the flames of Faltine, bye.
Bye.
Bye.